You're financially free, living in Indore. Currently, what does your portfolio look like?
My portfolio currently it stands around somewhere around 3 crore or so. First SIP I did was of 2000. That was the only SIP I did into a regular fund.
What's the quantum of wealth you can actually save by switching from, say, regular to direct?
The SIP of 10k per month for 30 years, direct plan will generate a return of 7 crores and the regular plan will generate a return of 5.5 crore. 10,000 SIP, the difference is of 1.5 crore. And if you increase the SIP to say 1 lakh, then it becomes, the difference becomes 15 crore.
What is your selection framework here? There are multiple parameters. What are the 2-3 parameters that you look at while selecting a mutual fund? Along this journey, any money regrets you have had?
Instead of investing in the PPF, I would have preferred investing in
Hi Ankit, welcome to Power Pioneers. Let's start with your early family life, career and your background.
I started around 2008. I completed my BTech around 2012. That time, actually, I got the internship in my first organization, Mindfire Solutions. There, I did my 6 month of internship training, and the same company I got placed as well. That's how basically the career started.
And how did your salary increase over the last 10 years?
Yeah, so I started with 20k a month in 2012. So in 2 years it was around 45k, and once I switched the job it was around 60k in the same company I'm right now, Accelerant Technologies. Then I think once I switched the role it was somewhere around 1.1, and then it happened, and now currently it's around 3 lakhs.
Understood. You're financially free, living in Indore. So how did your interest start in finance?
It was there with me since beginning, I would say. So even in college, whenever I used to earn anything, certain amounts like 1,000 a month or so, I used to save that so that it gets accumulated, and then I convert that into FD. I mean, basically, once I started in 2012 my job, so that time I started a SIP from one of my known, researched about it, like generally how the mutual fund work, gained a confidence, and that was my only regular SIP, I would say, of 2k.
Okay.
Post that, whatever SIPs I started as my career progressed, started the direct plan SIPs. That's how it progressed.
I would love to understand more on this research, but before that, in terms of your strategy, right, investment strategy. So when you started off, you started with an SIP, so it's directly into mutual funds.
Correct.
So 2 questions, right? One is, what percentage of your salary were you investing back then, and how has it changed over the years as your salary increased, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's important, as salary increases, you also continue to increase your savings.
Absolutely.
So how has that changed? And then secondly, which instruments do you invest in now?
I started with wholly into mutual funds,
Okay.
and that time, if I would see, like it was somewhere around 10% or so. But because I wasn't aware, though I used to save around 50% or so that time as well, because there was not too much of expenses in Bhubaneswar.
Got it. But rest of them was in like bank account.
Correct, I mean in FDs, and then it progressed. I mean, right now it's somewhere around 85% or so.
So you're able to save and invest
Correct,
85%
correct,
of your
yeah,
salary.
yeah. Because
Wow.
as I'm staying at my home, so no other expenses like rent or anything.
Right.
Just that daily expenses are there. Second is mostly the travel expenses. Because me and my wife both love traveling.
Got it, got it. So currently, what does your portfolio look like the corpus, and how is its allocation across different asset classes?
Yeah, so my portfolio currently it stands around somewhere around 3 crore or so. Portfolio location currently is somewhere around 66% around equity, and the rest is 33% in debt.
So debt also includes PPF, everything.
PPF, FDs.
If you could further break it down for us in terms of PPF, etc.
I would say 66%, which is around 2 crores, is in the equity, which is equity mutual funds in total. And then in the debt, remaining is 33%, right? So somewhere around 1 CR is cumulative of 40 lakhs around in PPF, 50 lakhs in fixed deposits, and 10 lakhs or around so in the sovereign gold bond, and remaining 5 to 10 lakhs in like the saving account and the other things.
You didn't mention gold or real estate. Is that not a part of your portfolio?
I have a certain amount of golds in the SGBs, but I have heard now the SGBs are not coming. Last 6-7 months, what I planned was doing a 20k of a SIP thing. But though we can't do a SIP in SGBs because it comes in a tranche,
Correct.
right? So what I was to do is I used to keep that amount in a bank, and whenever I used to get opportunity, I used to buy the nearby amount in multiple of grams, right? So my only point of investing in gold is considering is the sovereign gold bonds for now.
Okay.
But now, as I've heard, I'm not sure whether the news is true or not, but like government is pausing the kind of things
Yeah, I
of issuing
heard.
the
Yeah.
SGVs now.
Which is like 2/3 of your portfolio is in equity. So that's
Correct.
entirely mutual fund.
Entirely mutual funds, yeah.
Okay. And given that you are so heavily invested in mutual funds, what's your framework to select mutual funds as you have gone through this journey of researching yourself?
I selected one large cap, one small cap, and one mid cap and one flexi cap. Though
Okay.
like large cap is for a safer scenario, like we want to have a less volatility in the portfolio.
Okay.
Then comes the mid cap and small cap as a kind of appreciation point of view. So a long term perspective of at least 10-15 years or
Okay.
more. So right now, I mean, I haven't considered withdrawing anything from the mutual funds, but like, yeah, the wealth accumulation is the goal here.
Basically, 4 key funds: large,
key
mid,
funds.
small, and
Yeah,
flexi.
these are the categories, and
Yeah.
at max 2 funds of each category.
Got it. And just curious, given that you research and you read so much, what is your take on sectoral funds, which are becoming very popular? You did
Yeah, yeah,
mention
yeah.
that category.
Yes,
hence
yes.
asked.
So that is something I'm not much comfortable. Like recently, we are hearing about the PSU category and is the defense category. Those are the ones trending right now. Earlier, there used to be a green energy, I think, sector as well. Second thing is, we also need to be aware of when to exit. I mean, that's the most crucial part of investing. For now, my goal is to stay invested so that I can accumulate generous corpus. Currently, my goal is somewhere around 25 to 30 crores
Okay.
before I turn 50.
And how did you make this calculation? Like 25, 30? Is it like
Current portfolio stands at 3 crore already.
Yes.
So even if I stop investing now, assuming the returns
The
to be
compounding
compounding
will be-
returns to be 12%,
Correct.
it shall be by 20 years, it shall grow to 30 crore.
Got it. You spoke about, doing the research on mutual funds yourself. Could you help, our audience, what are the, go-to places they can refer to for researching on mutual funds?
So when I started my career, first I read about was the investment blogs. I mean, one was the My Investment Ideas. Also, I came to know about certain books like Let's Talk Money, Psychology of Money, and all.
Also, Ankit, you spoke about direct and regulars. The one you started was a regular mutual fund, I think,
Yeah.
because you were someone was advising you, and then you researched and moved to direct mutual funds. Like, if you can help our audience understand, what's the difference between the two, and what's the quantum of wealth you can actually save by switching from, say, regular to direct?
First SIP I did was of 2000. That was the only SIP I did into a regular fund.
Okay.
So difference of 1% return would be there into regular and direct plan. Amount difference, if you talk about in terms of the regular and direct plan, for the SIP of 10K per month for 30 years, the direct plan will generate a return of 7 crores and the regular plan will generate a return of 5.5 crores. So for
Okay.
10,000 SIP, the difference is of 1.5 crores.
That's very meaningful.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And if you increase the SIP to some, say 1 lakh, then it becomes the difference becomes 15 crores.
crores. Yeah, that's such a big number.
Yeah.
Fair. We spoke about mutual fund categories, large, mid, small, and flexi, right? Now, within that also there are multiple mutual fund schemes.
Correct.
What is your selection framework here? There are multiple parameters. What are the 2-3 parameters that you look at while selecting a mutual fund?
Yeah, so if alpha is greater than 1, it's good to select. I mean, that is one of the parameters. Then we have couple of the parameters, standard deviation. It signifies the volatility the fund has taken. So how the fund has volatile during the period, and there are ups and downs in the market, right? So what happens is rolling return signifies how the fund has been returned in a specified period of time.
Okay, got it. So alpha, standard deviation, and rolling returns.
returns.
3 key metrics.
3 key metrics.
Understood. We often talk about financial journey is the insurance part.
Yeah.
What is your take on, insurance? Do you have a health insurance?
Health insurance, I feel, is absolutely necessary. Medical prices are skyrocketing, and a small surgery also cost in lakhs now. That's why I have a amount covered is also 1 crore. I mean,
That's in addition to your corporate
yeah,
insurance.
yeah. That's absolutely different. I've taken the policy as a base cover only. I mean, it's not a top up or any kind of a thing. What happens is once you get out of the job, policy gets lapsed. So you only remains with the one that we have insured for.
And you said you have an insurance in addition to your corporate one. So, A, what's the cover? How did you choose that insurance? And then B, you didn't mention term insurance. So, do you have it? Do you don't have it?
I took the health insurance from Axis Bank. So I was having a good relationship as I was having a salary account. There the premium is fixed until 55 years. and it is providing me a cover of 1 crore. I choose the policy for two reasons here. One is the premium is being fixed until I turn 55 years of age.
Okay.
So likewise in the health insurance, this was one of the very good product I found from the Axis Bank Infinity Pro plan. My premium is around 19,000. There is a restoration benefit is there. It actually returns me a 30% amount. We have to complete a 10,000 steps every day. That also for 13 days a month only. If we do a 10k steps, it will return our 30% amount of the premium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on an average, I pay around 14,000 only for a 1 crore cover. For me and my wife, both covered. As you talked about the term insurance thing, the reason I felt of not taking the term insurance was because as soon as I turned around 26 or 27, I felt I was having a good amount of portfolio in.
Okay.
So I thought like it might not be necessary to have a term insurance by then because I was not having any liabilities by then.
Okay.
And also I was having somewhere around 70 to 80 lakhs saved in my portfolio. So it was like providing a relief for me that I might not be needing to go for the general thumb rule of 20x of the annual salary or 10x of the annual salary. I mean,
Got it. Understood. We'll wrap up with, last few questions. I think one is along this journey, any money regrets you have had or any financial decisions that you think you should not have made?
one thing what I feel is if I would have known about the mutual funds much before, I mean, at the start of my journey, then instead of investing in the PPF, I would have preferred investing in the ELSS fund. Because if I see the return of the ELSS even for last 10-15 years stands around 16 to 18% or so. Whereas the PPF currently since COVID is giving just 7.1% return.
Incorporating family and kids, has your fire number changed over the years or
Yeah,
have you
I
done
mean-
that calculation?
Yeah, I actually talked about with my wife as well. So once we have like the family grows, the expenses will grow as well.
Correct.
So accordingly, the fire number might need to be increased as well. So we calculated that as well, and seeing that also we see it won't take more than 2 years or so to reach to that number because rest of the things will be taken care of by the compounding with the
Correct.
existing corpus that we have.
I think it was great having you, Ankit.
Thank
Thank you so much. We hope you liked the video. If you want to join our podcast and share your story, fill the form in the pinned comment.